this SVB crisis, how do you think this time is different from 2008?
It's very different. This is not a Lehman moment. I don't think there's an avalanche of crisis as in 2008. I think this is isolated to the tech world, and Silicon Valley Bank service the tech world. But on the other hand, there are potentially could lead to systemic risks. So that's why the Federal Reserve Board has made a decisive decision to invoke the systemic risk exception and save all the banks and save this bank and to protect all the depositors.
So how would you think this event will eventually impact the startup and also PE VC ecosystem in Silicon Valley and even globally? Because SVB is very friendly to all the startups universally, not only in the United States, not only in China.
I think the startup world is already under stress, under a lot of stress, mainly because of the, I think this thing has a long fuse. It has a short and long fuse. The fuse is really the Federal Reserve Board to increase the rates, interest rate very rapidly. So that has led to the stock market crash. I wouldn't call it a crash, but I think in the tech world, there is a mini crash. It's very hard for these startup companies to raise new funding at a reasonable valuation, or at least at the valuation levels that they're used to a few years ago. So the tech world is already in crisis in this sense. I think this SVB situation just will make it worse. Definitely.
Fed was trying to continue its rate hike process because apparently the inflation pressure is still there. Do you think this event will actually let Fed finally pivot their interest rate hike?
I think that they will definitely, this will definitely have an impact on the rate of rate increases. I think it was generally expected that the next rate increase could be a 50 basis points. Right. Now, that is entirely out of the question. I think most people would expect that the Fed will raise rates a couple of more times at 25 basis points each. But I don't really have a strong view one way or the other. But I think that they will certainly be more cautious. And I think their appetite for inflation tolerance will increase. I think they will be more tolerant of the inflation for a longer period of time. They will, this round of rate increase is the fastest ever in the history of the United States. I think they, with this SVB incident, I think they are most likely to slow down the process.